Top Gear, why we love it, or Pulitzer secret sex tape reveal? JF, what do you want to see?
Top Gear.
Top Gear it is. JF Usual, Alex Roy, Top Gear, today in the Road Testament. Top Gear. Everybody loves Top Gear.
Of course.
You love Top Gear.
It is.
I love Top Gear. I mean, Top Gear is kind of like the Beethoven's Ninth of car shows in that it's so far beyond any other car show. It defines car shows, and long after it's gone, will define car shows forever. I mean, can you even name a second, third, or fourth car show?
Well, there's Fifth Gear, of course, which is made up of the old Top Gear staff.
But would you ever in a million years ever say, oh my God, what an amazing show? It's a good show.
Of course.
It's just a good show.
Just in comparison to Top Gear, it's nowhere near close.
Okay, what we're interested in right now really is what makes Top Gear so great? Why aren't there other shows as good as Top Gear? Why do they own the space? So, all right, what makes Top Gear Top Gear?
I think it's a series of levels. Everything from the way it's shot, the production value,
so cinematography,
as well as the characters and the personality and the interaction between the characters.
All right, cinematography can be replicated. You can hire people who are good at that.
Of course.
All right.
Something. Yeah.
Production values. Well, with enough money, you have production values.
And it's also the value of the journalism behind it.
Okay.
The research behind it. They've got an intense staff.
All right. So
do a lot of research.
The characters.
Yep.
And the research.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any one of these things can be replicated except the people, really.
That's true.
Okay. So what is it about these people that makes them so critical, so, I guess, essential in this combination to being successful?
Well, it's the chemistry. You never want to throw two people who have similar interests on camera. It just won't work.
Well, you have three.
Well, that's even better.
I'll tell you why. It's because all three of these guys, well, not only they know their topics,
mm-hmm.
but it's long been said that other shows ad-lib, it's also great, but it's all scripted.
Yep.
But it's scripted by them.
That's correct.
And every other show, in fact, almost any show...
It's scripted by them, but checked by outside sources, which is even better.
Well, you hope so. You know, that's what... If you look at other car shows, they're never scripted by the people on camera.
Okay.
Okay, listen. I have my faults. I suck at the teleprompter. But you always want to have someone speak to you as honestly as possible, direct to the camera. Even when they're wrong, you know they're talking to you.
I don't even want to say it's scripted. Of course, it's scripted, but it's also along the lines of they produce themselves.
All right. So
they know what they know their boundaries.
I'll add a sixth thing that makes this show really fantastic. It's honest.
Yes.
I mean, at least they're giving their true opinions, even if they are negative about the cars.
They've got something that we don't have. Well, actually, online we do because we have no advertisers. That something is the BBC.
Well,
it's like our PBS. One of the reasons that U.S. Top Gear had its difficulties, even getting out of the pilot stage, was because NBC was concerned about how the way the shows would depict certain manufacturers, which
right.
were potential advertisers for NBC.
Which goes to the core of why a U.S. Top Gear. I mean, I was an audition a couple of times for some of the U.S. Top Gears back in the day, and as you know, there was a failed pilot was shot 2 years ago, and now they're shooting a whole season with people I haven't seen yet.
Yep.
But going back in time, the key to this show's popularity is, at least at the beginning, I think, was the honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Because even before Hammond, Clay, and Markson, Clarkson, Hammond, and May,
yeah.
How long have they been hosting this show?
Well, that's the thing. The Top Gear started back in 1977.
But these guys have been around like 5-10 years.
Well, it was, in the new series, it was Clarkson, Hammond, and this guy Jason Dow, I think.
Did you watch
It wasn't May initially with the new series.
Had you ever heard of Top Gear before these three were the hosts? Heard of it?
I knew of Top Gear through Tiff Nadell back in the 90s.
Have you ever watched any of the old Top Gears?
Yes.
Did you enjoy them?
Not as much as it's a completely different show.
Is it like
if you want to understand what the old Top Gear was, and mind you, Top Gear started in 1977.
Have you watched the show from 77?
Not that far back, no. But I think the old Top Gear kind of, if you look at the modern day Fifth Gear, you kind of see those similarities between the old Top Gear and that.
I think Fifth Gear is like a snooze fest. I mean, like for me, it's just like
it gets down. It's car reviews. Top Gear is more about the story of the car review. Two totally different things.
But I don't even care what the reviews.
Much like any entertainment in life, you want to hear a story.
Yeah, and you know something? Those car reviews are not entertaining. And in fact, it's not entertainment at all. It's content. They're informational.
Yes.
And but they're so poorly constructed for me that I'm not interested in what they have to say.
Fifth Gear is designed for the consumer market, for the consumer fun.
Dude, nobody watches that show. That's
not true.
How are the ratings?
I don't know the ratings, but that's not true.
Okay, so let me ask you this: Why has it been impossible? I have an opinion. Why do you think there hasn't been a foreign or external version of Top Gear?
It comes down to the perfect storm with Top Gear, the characters, the production value, as well as the BBC, the perfect habitat for such a show. So Clarkson Mayhem and Andy Woolman, who has a lot of influence over those three characters.
The producer.
I met him. They have the ability to say what they want because, well, they've got no advertisers on the show. The BBC Two is actually backed by the government. Now, that was the problem why NBC kind of had issues with the way the free reign of the hosts on a show, which could offend potential advertisers. So you've got that aspect. That's one part of the perfect storm. And then you also have, well, when Andy Woolman and Clarkson reinvented Top Gear in the early 2000s, they wanted to produce films. They didn't want to produce car reviews. They wanted to tell the story.
But we all agree the films are great, cinematography is great, the characters are great.
And there's a formula. Mind you, behind the scenes, there is a formula to all these reviews.
And we also agree that their honesty is critical.
Yes.
But why do you? But what I'm really getting at is, why do you think there hasn't been in America 5 years in a row?
Mm-hmm.
So they've tried to do this here, and now they're shooting a series, and no one's optimistic about it.
Well, you're asking why?
Why has nothing prior worked? Did you see the NBC Top Gear pilot? What with the hairdresser, lumberjack guy, and the comedian, and the other guy? What are their names? Who even cares?
You see it? Tanner. What's his name?
Tanner Faust,
yeah.
Corolla, and the hairdresser.
Yeah.
Look, we all know that the key to celebrity, like a really mass market celebrity, like Jay Leno and a few other people, is that they appeal to the broadest number of people, which will never be everybody, because people identify with them or feel like they know them. They look at the camera, somebody looks at the camera, and they look at their eyes, and they say, I know this person, I get it. And if you're two or more hosts, you have to believe that they genuinely know each other. They're friends. On a fictional show, like Friends, you really believe they're all friends, because they're great actors. On a nonfiction show, you can tell people like each other or not. We bicker like old ladies.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah, we're good friends.
It's just, you're the worst.
Well, Clarkson Mayhem, and then as well as the Australian equivalents, they are friends.
And here's my final take on this. The reason there hasn't been one yet is because the American public isn't dumb. People talk about pop culture and crap here being just crap. The people are smart. They can smell quality. They can see honesty. They know it when they see it. Like obscenity, you know when you see it. And that pilot, when I saw it, it had every element of Top Gear that I loved, but one. I didn't feel like these people knew each other, and I didn't feel like I knew them. And when you see three strangers and you'll never see again in the street, you know if they know each other. You know there's an interaction, there's something there. Mm-hmm. And it makes people feel more comfortable around other people when there's warmth generated.
And you look at Clarkson, Ham, and May.
And it's there. I know those guys. I feel like I know them. And I know they know each other. And then that's the honesty of the show. And that's why I love Top Gear.
Cool.
Next week.
Don't say anything. We'll figure that out.
You're off to Pebble Beach. Have a great trip.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. A show, the world's best show about plumbers, called Plop Gear. Can you imagine? Where they have to test all the toilets and then flush them. I would like to see that be the intro.
Do it.
I can't do it.
No, on your fingers. You can't do it. No, don't do it right
there.
On your finger. Get ready to catch it. If it falls.
I can't. Well, why? I'm busy. Why am I doing this?
It's fun. Come on, Alex. You always complain about I don't have enough fun in my life.
You just solved that problem.